Can't hide our voices sing too much. Can't hide reality, it's not yours to hide. Light breaking, we are taking, this is our time. Just breathe, this will be a hard fight. The truth cash shadows in the night.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. We were running a little bit behind schedule. We had some major um, technical difficulties going on. StreamYard is just not our best friend lately, and we're looking at resolving that issue for this new year and stuff like that. It just picked a wrong time to act the fool. So Johnny will be with us in a minute because we were all here and the guest is here. But we had to get through these technical difficulties. So Johnny, he'll jump in as soon as he can. Again, I do apologize. 2026, first show of the year. Um, what a way to start it out, right? Um, hey, Wendell, how you doing, buddy? Thank you. I see who? Oh, Lenny. Hey, Lenny, how you doing, buddy? Lenny's always a great guy to have here. Um, let's see who else we got. We got John Stewart. He's always here. He's a great supporter of the show. If anybody's seen Sharon, I haven't seen Sharon in a while. So if y'all ever see her on, because I'm sure she's on a lot of podcasts, reach out to her and stuff like that. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Um, so I hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year. We did take a couple weeks off for the holidays, so everybody could enjoy time with their family and not worry about this stuff. Hey, Day Tripper, good to see you. Um, so we took the time off for the holidays. Johnny's got the new baby and stuff like that, and his kids and everything. And so doing the Christmas thing, and then of course we had New Year's, and just wanted everybody to enjoy that and just have a good time and ring in the new year. 2026, it's going to be a great year. I really do. I think it's going to be a great year. I didn't do much. I'm not a holiday guy. But it was good to just kind of relax and chill and put on a couple pounds. So, but Johnny will, like I said, Johnny will jump in as soon as he can. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties, but it looks like most of it's good to go. So, a lot going on this year. We do have some opening dates. So if anybody wants to be on the show, you've had an encounter or you're a researcher that wants to discuss, and you want to discuss Johnny, and you want to discuss your encounters and stuff like that, feel free to reach out to us. You can contact me at Bigfoot Florida Guy at gmail.com. You can reach Johnny at Sasquatch Encounter Brigade at gmail.com, but especially at this site, Sasquatch Unredacted at gmail.com. Hit us up. We'd love to talk to you about an encounter or what you're doing in the research field. So we do have some open-end dates, but we do have some exciting guests coming up soon too. I was working on a specific guest. It took a lot of work, and we finally come together. We picked a date, and I think that is February 6th. So definitely keep that on the calendar. I'm really excited about this guest. I'm not going to mention anything until we get closer because I don't want to jinx it. But it's somebody that we'll all know, and if you don't know him, you've definitely watched some of his stuff on YouTube, and it's just exciting to have him and talk to him about his adventures and travels because the man is definitely put in the miles. So, hey Johnny, so how you doing, buddy? How's the baby? How's life? How's everything, man? It's a new year.
Yeah, it's a brand new year, ready to go. Uh, Everybody's good here. I don't ever give out, or try not to give out exactly when, but within the next 2 weeks, I'll be going to a new property. And, there's nothing like the feeling of talking to a witness, getting to know that witness, going out to the property, finding evidence and then having a sighting. Like that entire process is just it's kind of crazy to even think it's possible to do, but it is. It's very possible to do. And we're about to start that process all over again. And this one is I trust the guy, very intelligent individual, former Marine Corps, uh, hunted his whole life. He's got 300 acres and he's had a bunch of stuff happen out there, but he has not had a sighting yet. So the hope is we go out there and get them stirred up, play some vocals, just specifically let them know that we are looking for them, and then go from there.
Well,
so that's what's coming down the pike.
Key question. Here's the key question, though. Is it closer?
No, it is not closer at all. It's about, in fact, just my
those
luck.
that don't know,
it's almost exactly the same amount of
time.
Those
that don't know, you drive over 3 hours. Really? Wow. Yeah,
who knows? Well, one day just gotta get people to keep coming forward, and that's. I'm telling you, if you got who is that? John Stewart. Oh yeah, John was supposed to head up. I saw him on. He hit me up on Messenger, saying he was coming up to I think deer hunt. So hopefully, John bagged himself a deer. Let's see.
Oh, that'd be nice. Maybe he'll let us know in the chat room if he bagged a deer or not.
What is this? They already knew you're coming. You're going to be there before you do. Blah, blah.
Yeah, because he said he didn't see anything when he went up there, and he's like, they already knew you were coming.
Right. I guess. Possibly. Yet to be proven.
Got to have T-Mobile. Got to have that good signal out in the woods. That's what you need.
Yeah. So, anyway, how's everything going with you?
John said he did not get anything, and he's crying. So, he said, I did not.
Hey, welcome to the team, man. I go out 3 times this year. I was supposed to go to the same property because he's like, look, man, I can't guarantee the size, but I can guarantee you're going to shoot a deer when you come down here. So, like the past 2 weekends, or the past 2 different times that we have scheduled me going down there, it's supposed to be a hunting slash Sasquatch trip, right? Well, it's rained both times. So now, by the time I get down there, deer season will be over with, but it's still definitely worth going down there. So,
definitely when I deer hunted, I can deer hunt in the heat. I can deer hunt in the cold because you could prepare for that to a certain level. But rain, no. Rain, I won't even walk out the door. If I know it's going to rain, I'm not hunting.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't mind. As long as it's not super cold, it doesn't bother me. But, when people own their own property and then they're right around the corner from their property, nobody wants to put up with that. And then camping in the rain, you got that. And you want to be able to go out and get out.
And I know, both being prior military and stuff like that. And if you're out there in the rain hunting, you know what you have to do immediately when you get home, and that's field dress that weapon. You have got to clean it up really good because it will rust overnight if you don't. And it's just one of the things. I'm like, nope, not going out in the rain because I really don't want to deal with being wet and uncomfortable and then coming back tired and now have to clean my gun because it got wet. I
love summertime when it's raining and do a little research in the rain. I love that. But wintertime.
Research is one thing. I'll go out researching in the rain, but not hunting.
Yeah.
Well, we got a guest
tonight.
Guest,
Richard Farabee.
He is somebody that I saw a discussion he was having on Facebook, so I invited him to talk to me and see about being on the show to talk about his encounter. I spoke to him last night. We talked for a little bit. Very, very good encounter, and he's got key things that make it a very good encounter. And he'll go into. I don't want to say anything because I want him to tell the story. But there's some very, very good stuff about this encounter that I think we would all be excited about. He currently lives in Colorado, beautiful state. But his sightings and everything were in Texas when he was in Texas. So I will bring him on. This is Carl. Everybody say hi to Carl. How you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
I'm good. I'm
Carl.
good. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. So tell us about yourself, Carl.
I'm 68 years old. I'm an avid rock hound, so I'm out in the mountains all the time hunting rocks or out in the woods. So I see lots of things I probably shouldn't see.
Well, we got to
Uh,
clarify something, Carl. In Colorado, going out looking for rock is different than in New York City going out looking for rock.
that's right. Oh yeah,
Just
no, these are two totally different kind of rocks. Yeah, it.
Uh,
And along with my rocks, I've got a large collection of dinosaur bones and eggs that I've found over the years. So
that's pretty interesting. My son would love to see some of that.
yeah, I got a dinosaur skull that I found fishing one time. I hooked a really good lure I liked on it and couldn't get it off, so I dove in the lake and swam down. And when I felt what it was hooked to, I brought it up, and it ended up being about a 3.5 foot dinosaur skull.
oh
What?
wow.
Did you keep it or did you
Oh
talk
yeah,
to a
yeah.
museum or
No,
oh that's
well,
awesome.
man, I've tried to contact different museums, but because I don't have all the initials behind my name,
Right.
they tell me it doesn't count.
It
That's
don't count.
ridiculous. That's just like
So, but
Sasquatch, man.
that's right. But I like to hunt and fish, and
So you're just
I
all
like,
around outdoorsman.
yeah. I'm not a sit-at-home guy. Never have been.
What kind of dinosaur was the skull from? Do you know?
I don't really know. Now I've got one skull that's smaller, and it's from a Clarodon dinosaur. In the movie Jurassic Park, where the man and the two kids are running through the field, the big dinosaurs that run past them were Clarodon dinosaurs. I got one skull from that, and then the big one I found still has left partial of horns that it had at one time, and it has a real wide mouth. And I'll uh, I'll send y'all pictures of it.
Well,
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Mike Nation just asked this question. I'll put it on the screen. Is there a particular type of rock you look for?
Um, no, I like weird and unusual,
Oh, okay.
and I've got almost every kind of rock you can find on this planet, including lots of meteorites. But I
Well,
just like the
back in the day when I was very young, um, I made it to the U.S. team and for the Pan American Games, and we had to go to Colorado to the Olympic Training Center.
Mhm.
And while we were there, we were up there
Yeah,
for a
figure
month. And
skating,
why we
Richard.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I'll bring you some pictures one day, and we'll delve into that a little bit. But anyways, we got some day trips where we got to leave the facility and stuff, and I bought fool's gold just to have fool's
Sure.
gold. You know what I mean? It was a rock with a fool's gold sticking out of it, and I had that for a long time. To this day I have no idea where what I did with it, but I had got that in Colorado.
Yeah, I got some rocks I found here in Colorado that have gold nuggets stuck to them. I'm
Nice.
just not willing to break them up to take the gold off of it.
Well, if you see
Man,
the
you
price
must
of gold
really
right
love
now, you
rocks.
would.
I know. It's what my wife tells me all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's a really cool hobby.
I got one of the
So,
only. Go ahead.
well, no, go ahead and say what you're going to say, but I want to get into your encounter, um, and talk about that for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go.
He's like, no, man, I'm ready to go. So me and you talked last night, and it's you had this encounter in Texas. It was you and your nephew.
That's right.
So start there. Start with what you guys were doing out there, and just roll with it. We'll jump in if we have a question.
Okay. Well, so the first time I ever saw him, me and my brother were cooking in his backyard, and he lived in a trailer house that backed up against a ranch. And it wasn't quite dark. It was dusk. You could still see clearly. And my brother slapped me in the arm and said, "Look at that." And we both turned around, and sure enough, here the best I can tell you was Bigfoot was walking right across the pasture, probably 50 yards behind us. And it stopped and it turned and looked at us for a second, and then turned back around like he didn't care what we were doing. He just walked all the way across the pasture. And that's the first time I'd ever seen it. Now, me and my nephew were out hunting, and my brother
Well,
was
let's
driving
stop
the
for a second. Let's talk about that one. Let's talk about that one. So you guys are barbecuing. This thing walked out of the tree line. How far did it walk? It walked across the field, or did it walk a few hundred yards out and went back in? What happened?
and it walked all the way across the pasture, which was probably 100 yards.
Oh wow.
And there weren't any trees in it. He was in plain sight. And like I say, when he got about even where we were, he stopped and turned and looked at us, stared at us for a minute, turned around, and just kept on walking.
So it
First,
Now,
wasn't
did you
concerned
have
about
it?
you guys at all.
no, of course,
Good.
this was back before they made cell phones. So
Right. What did it look like?
uh, it was a lot bigger than I am, and I was at the time I was 6'8". Well, I'm still 6'8", but I weighed about 375 pounds, and he was a lot bigger than I was. A lot
Lord.
broader, uh, completely hairy, head to toe. Had the long arms. You could almost scratch his knees, and he wasn't in any hurry. He didn't care. Just real slowly walked past us.
What did the face look like? Could you tell from that distance?
Um, except, and it almost looked human, except it was covered in hair, eyebrows, on the around the nose, the mouth. You couldn't hardly tell it had a mouth. It had so much hair on it, and it was kind of a dirty brown colored, and the first thing we thought about doing was waving to it, but it didn't seem to respond. But
What state was this in? Was this in Colorado?
it was in Texas. It was
Oh, okay.
down
This one was in
close.
Texas.
It was down in Montgomery County in a area down there called Wigginsville, which was close to Conroe. And on
uh,
We
the
have a
skin,
we got a question here. Could you see the skin color?
I really couldn't tell any skin color. Uh, he was just almost a dirty brown and extremely hairy.
Now, did you know anything about these creatures before? Had you ever had any interest or heard any stories or anything like that?
No, I've always been a Bigfoot lover.
No. Okay.
Uh, and I go out in the woods all the time and hunt for them. I do up here too, and I would love to get to the point of seeing one that I could spend more than the 10 minutes I have before with,
Right.
and because you don't know what so few people see them. Nobody really knows if they talk, if they have any kind of language. Um, and you just don't know. Um, I, I hear all kinds of stories about them being aggressive towards people. Um, the couple of times I've seen them, they weren't aggressive to me. Um, I guess you have a rifle in your hand and you're shooting at one of them, they might be aggressive. You get a
Yeah.
rifle in your
Well,
hand and shoot at me, I'm going to be aggressive.
well, I think that's a good segue into your next sighting with your nephew because that all plays into that. So so go to that one. Let's go there that day where you and your nephew and stuff were doing what y'all were doing out there. Go ahead and start.
All right, so there's an area in Wigginsville called the Pipe Yard. It's probably 300 acres, and it's where the oil companies in that area, Texaco primarily, would store their old drill pipe. And the locals, me and my brother and nephew included, would hunt rabbits on the property. And my brother was driving my truck, and me and my nephew were sitting in the back. And when we'd see a rabbit, we'd shoot it, we'd run over and pick it up. We were in the right of way, in the clearing, and we'd probably been out there about an hour, and I heard something. And I asked my nephew if he heard it, and he said he wasn't sure. So I leaned around to the window. My brother was driving. I said, "Now drive real fast and stop real fast." And so we did that. And when we stopped, something was tracking us just inside the woodline because it didn't catch us stopping, and we heard the steps it took. So we did that 2 or 3 times just to make sure. First thing we thought is it's probably a wolf. There's lots of big wolves in Texas. And so I got my floodlight out. Of course, me and my nephew both had guns on us. I got my floodlight out and started shining down low, actually looking for a wolf's eyes. And we didn't see anything, but I could tell something was just inside the woods. So I joked around my nephew and I said, "Hey, let's shine it up high and see if Bigfoot's watching us." And I shined it up to about almost 9.5, 10 foot, and there his eyes were, and he was looking right at us. And so I jumped out of the truck and headed for the woods. My
My
nephews asked me,
man. My
and my
man.
nephews asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "Dude, I want to see. I want to know. I want to stick my head in them woods and look at him." And so he jumped out and followed me. We both still have guns in our hands and probably got about 10, maybe 15 feet away from the tree line. And it stepped right out of the woods right in front of us. And I nudged my nephew and I told him, "Put your gun on the ground." He said, "No, no, we need it. We need it." I said, "No, put your gun on the ground." And we both laid our guns down and it stood right in front of us, 10 foot away from us. And I would guess 10 minutes. We, and we sat there and looked each other up and down. I don't know, Johnny, if you can hear us, but your picture went off.
No,
But
no, that he's there. He's there.
okay, we all just kind of stood there. My nephew stood behind me, and we're both big boys. Uh, I'm 6'8". I was 350 pounds. My nephew was 6 foot, and he was 300 pounds. And we stood there maybe 10 minutes and just looked each other up and down. It kind of turned its head and looked at us, and it looked over at our truck, and my brother was hollering, "Please run, run, run. Come back, get in the truck." And I wanted to see if I could get closer. I, I tried to step forward to see if I could get close enough to reach out to him. And my nephew grabbed me and said, "Please, Uncle Carl, please, let's go, let's go." And uh, and I turned to my nephew and told him, said, "Look, if he gets aggressive, he can only get one of us, the other one can shoot him. And it was about 10 minutes, and I guess he learned everything he wanted to learn. He turned to walk in, he looked at us one more time, and he disappeared into the woods.
Wow.
Now, we went back the next day, really looking for evidence. And in the tree line where he was walking, probably 100 yards following us, everything just inside the tree line was squashed down flat. All the little trees, all the shrubs, and and they weren't pine trees, but they were small saplings, and they were all crushed down flat, about a 2 foot wide, and just smashed all the way down to where we stopped. And it was very interesting.
So kind of like a game trail.
Yeah, yeah. And and I've been trying to do it again ever since. I don't know if we have any Colorado people on this deal, on this podcast, but if you ever want to get out in the woods and hunt, you give me a holler. I'm game to go. And,
I would love to come up there to Colorado with you and do not necessarily hunt, but definitely go out with you. The only reason I don't go is my ex-wife lives in Colorado now, so I'm just going to avoid the state.
And I got a friend up there that's got 300 acres way up in the mountains.
Is it?
Wow.
Do you have access to where this happened still?
In
But
Texas?
that was in Texas.
Right.
Oh, sure.
You still go down there ever?
Every now and then I go down because my daughter still lives there, and my nephew still lives down there. But
So you said, did I hear you right? Did you say it was there for 10 minutes? Just watching you?
10.
and we're there face to face for about 10 minutes.
Good Lord,
And,
man. What did you do?
And I kept trying to talk to it. I wanted real bad to reach out and touch it,
Right.
try to shake its hand, hug it, something. But
Now you sound like Johnny.
And it kept looking us up and down. I'm sure it was sizing us up, just like we were sizing it up. And he was completely
Without getting too descriptive, I'm going to ask this question before the crowd does. Could you tell if it was male or female?
From its size, I would have guessed a male.
Okay.
Because he was.
And how tall do you think it was?
He was every bit of 10 foot. And he was probably 3.5 foot wide, shoulder to shoulder. And his arms, of course, covered with hair, but his arms were as big as my thighs. And I used to lift weights professionally, so I had some big thighs. And
So is this an area? I'm not familiar with the area. Is this East Texas?
yes, sir. Yes, it's in what people consider the big thicket. It's covered in pine trees.
Yeah,
And,
that's a hot spot for sure.
Yeah, it was probably 50 or 60 miles from the Louisiana border.
I have heard a lot of people talk about that area from that point into Louisiana, that it is a hot spot.
Yeah.
I believe Happy Harris has a buddy that he went to high school with. That, when Happy came forward and started talking about his sighting, his buddy from high school ended up seeing it, and they hadn't talked in years. And he's got a trailer out in that area, and apparently these creatures come out there and mess around with his trailer and push on the side of it and do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
That
now
is a
um, I had another, and I don't know if this was Bigfoot, but me and my nephew and my brother were camping one time, uh, close to the same area, and we could hear something walking around the camper. It was foggy outside. It's one of these kind of campers, excuse me, that's attached to the car, like a Winnebago. And so we turned the headlights on because we could hear something walking around the camper. So we turned the headlights on, thinking it'd walk in front of the lights, and it never did. And the camper didn't have any windows, so we couldn't look out the windows. We didn't have any kind of weapons. Uh, we had a bunch of rod and reels, but we didn't think that would help us very much. And when it walked away from us, it slapped the side of the camper. And when we finally came out the next day, there was a huge claw print that punctured the side of our camper, uh, almost 11 foot up the side of the camper, to where whatever it was had slapped our camper. And
sounds like a story for Vic Cundiff. Sounds like a dog man
yeah,
more than a
Yeah.
Sasquatch.
and I've seen plenty of bears out there. So, and my first thought it was a bear, but it never growled. It never made a
Yeah, we're getting
noise. Go ahead.
now
I'll
going back
stop.
to that one with your nephew. Going back to that one with your nephew. Try to give us a head to toe or whatever you saw description of what you were looking at. Because 10 minutes, that's amazing. I'm asking for
Yeah.
10 seconds, and you got 10 minutes. That is amazing. I mean, I would lose sleep for the rest of my life knowing I got 10 minutes to look at this thing. So start from the head down and tell us what you saw. Describe it in detail as much as you remember. Forehead, eyes, nose, mouth, hands, fingernails, whatever you can tell us.
Um, a, a very wide forehead, very wide head. Again, covered with hair from his eyes to the top of his head. Uh, he was dark complected, uh, more more brownish skin. Um, I would almost say it looked like he had black eyes. I guess it could have been really dark brown eyes. Um, he had a wide nose. Um uh, he had a mouthful of teeth that weren't in very good shape, but uh, he did make a point to uh, make sure we understood he had a mouthful of teeth. And he had fingers just like ours. They were just twice as long as mine. And uh, uh, you see people with big hands that can palm a basketball, and he probably could have hidden a basketball in one hand. And his arms were long like legs. Um, he had the best you could tell, he had a really good six pack, very muscular. Um, he stood up very straight. He wasn't hunched over. Um, his knees weren't bent slightly. He was standing just about as straight as I was. Um,
And you said
I,
about 10 feet tall?
he, he was at least 9.5 to 10 foot.
Good
Um,
Lord.
and I got a big foot, uh, a 16-inch shoe, and his was the size. His foot was probably, rough guess, at 6 to 7 inches wide. Um, his foot itself was probably closer to a 20-inch shoe than my 16-inch. Um, I didn't notice any claws on him. Um, he was very muscular. Um, he was very curious. And He didn't appear to be fat. He appeared to be in really good shape. Um, and his back, when he turned to walk off, his back was just a massive wall of hair. That we did go back looking for hair samples and anything else we could find. Went back looking for footprints. Uh, we didn't find, you know, here it's summertime in Texas. The ground's hard as a rock because you don't get much rain. But
Now, what year was this, Carl?
this was probably I want to say about 89 or 90. And me and my wife had only been married for a couple of years. Yeah, it was something I'll never forget.
I bet that's seeing one of these things is hitting the lottery. Watching one, stand there and look at you for 10 minutes, that's like hitting the Powerball. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a gift, man. I've actually got a pretty good idea of what happened. They saw a 6'8" human and they were like, what in the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
They came to check you out.
Yeah.
6'8", that's tall, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you're 6'8" and 300 and something pounds. You a big man.
Yeah.
And back then you were what, in your 20s?
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
a force to be reckoned with. You're a force to be reckoned with in this world at that size.
Yeah. Now I'm just old.
Aren't we all?
Well,
At that time,
Yeah, go ahead.
at that time, I'd have probably given him a run for his money. It might not have lasted long, but I'd have gotten one or two licks in.
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably why he stood there so long. He's like, man, what is this thing? I didn't know they got this big.
Yeah.
Well,
Did
there's
you play
definitely-
sports or anything?
I did. I used to play semi-pro football in the USFL back in my younger days, and
Oh, did
I
you?
lifted weights professionally. So yeah, I was a big boy for a while, and
Yeah.
of course, then I was just a good old American redneck. So I was a little rowdy in my younger days.
I would
Yeah, I
ask
think
you
you
if you
fit
were
right
a
in.
vet. You were a veteran, but you're too big to be a veteran. You're definitely not going submarine.
And that's how come I wasn't a veteran. Because when I graduated high school, I went to every service and tried to join. And they just told me, said, it cost us $1 million a year to put you in a uniform. He said,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. He said, if somebody attacks our country, pick up your gun and head for the battle. Said, other than that, we don't need you bad enough to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
So-
don't realize that. There is a point where you're too big. No matter how
Yeah.
healthy you are, how huge you are, you don't meet the criteria because you literally can't hide behind something to keep from getting shot. You know what
right.
I mean?
That's
everybody's hiding behind you to keep from getting shot.
That's right. That's right. But
Oh,
I
man.
tried.
Man.
Well, I definitely think that when you were with your nephew and you guys were rabbit hunting, I think it was looking for an opportunity to snatch one of the rabbits that you shoot.
And
I think it was looking for a free meal.
it may have, because there were some after shooting them we didn't find. Because they
Yep.
hopped back in the tree line or something, and we never came across them.
Yeah, and that's happened to me. Where back in the day when I did hunt, I had a season where I would hunt rabbits, and I'd shoot about 20 rabbits a month, to keep the freezer full and stuff like that. And there were times I was in the woods and I clean shot on a rabbit, seen him flopping in the wind, and shot him at about 75, 80 yards. And by the time I got to him, I couldn't find him.
Yeah,
I had no idea where this rabbit was.
yeah. We had a few like that. We just always hoped something found it so he didn't go to waste. and apparently something may have been finding it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, do you have any real like well-known hot spots up there in Colorado where you live at that you frequent?
Um, I got a friend that lives up on top of a mountain called Crystal Mountain. He's got about 300 acres up there. Um, and he has bears and elk and moose and all that live on his property. Um, I like to go up there and wander the property. I don't wander it without a weapon. I don't plan to shoot uh, an animal that I don't have to shoot. But you know, and a girl got killed by a mountain lion last week here in Colorado, hiking on a trail without any type of weapon.
No.
And so I don't go in the woods without being well armed.
Yeah, sometimes people forget that the woods are wild. There's still
Yeah,
plenty of things out there that'll uh, hurt you if give it a chance. I've
yeah,
never been. I've never been to Colorado. I've heard and seen video. Obviously, it looks like beautiful country.
yeah. It's
A
really
big one.
nice. Uh, when the snows are gone, so you can't get to his house now. But when the snows are gone in the spring, I plan to spend a lot of time up there this coming spring and summer. And he's got 300 acres. It may take me 2 or 3 weeks, but I plan to cover it all.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that's a big
Well,
chunk of
and
land.
that brings up when we were talking, because I asked you. I said, "Hey, have you seen anything Bigfoot or maybe Bigfoot related in Colorado?" And you discussed a possible talk about that possible sighting that you had.
In Colorado?
Yeah, where you were looking down and it was in the river.
Oh yeah. Me and my wife were at Rocky Mountain National Park. It's just right down the road from where we live, and uh, I've always got binoculars with me because I'm always looking for something you don't expect to find. And we were in this area where the tourists sit and they look at the mountains and they take pictures of the mountains and all that. And I have really good binoculars, and I was scanning the valley below us, looking for actually looking for bears or moose or any type of wild animal. And I could see something that was a great distance away, but with my binoculars, I could see it pretty clearly. And it almost looked like a big bear because it was hunched over. It was at a river. So I kept watching it. I turned to my wife and the people next to me and said, "Hey, I can see a bear down there drinking water." And this other guy took his binoculars. They weren't as good as mine, but he took his and he couldn't quite make out what it was. And I kept watching it. And this bear stood up and it stood straight up and walked across the river. And then I yelled at my wife, "Bigfoot, Bigfoot, look, I got Bigfoot." And other people tried to look at it. And a person with a real nice camera tried to take a picture or look down at it. Uh, I asked her to send me a picture, but I never heard from her. So I don't know if she took a picture or if she believed what she took a picture of. But it stood straight up and walked on 2 legs right across that river.
Hmm.
And that's the only one I've seen here in Colorado.
Well, that segues into the next thing because we were talking and because you look for rocks. You're in Colorado now. You had that sighting, so now you got Bigfoot on the brain and you're looking,
That's
and
right.
you found something very interesting. Talk about what you found. You sent me a picture of it,
Yeah.
and you had it actually checked out. You actually had it looked at, and I'm going to pull the picture up on the screen, but I want you to describe it first. What you found.
Okay. So I was on a river in Texas. Um, I always look for unusual rocks. The more unusual, the more I like them. And I found something that just didn't look right. I always keep a rock hammer in my truck. I got my rock hammer and I dug this rock out. Um, when I got it cleaned up real good, to where I could see it really well, it's a petrified what looks like human footprint. So it's turned to stone. It takes a long time for dirt to turn to stone. But it's a stone. In the picture you can see there, you can see the toes, the ball, and the heel of the foot. I did send pictures of that, the measurements and everything, to the Natural Museum of Science. And their explanation was it was a Neanderthal's footprint. And they told me the way it kind of curves was from when they climbed trees or climbed rocks, the bones in their feet kind of deformed to where they could hook around the rocks or the trees. Uh, Whether, when I found it, I thought, all right, I found a Bigfoot footprint. Uh, I still have it. I'm sure when I'm dead and gone, my kids will probably throw it in the rock garden. But
Nope,
until
send it to
then,
me. Send it to me. Carl, I'll
I
take
would,
it. I'll take it,
I,
Carl.
I, I'll mark your name and address down on it so my kids will send it to you because it's,
Dude, I will take that. When you sent me the picture, and I'm looking at this thing, and I can definitely see the ball, I can see the toes and everything else. And we got to talking about it, and this measured at roughly 15 to 16 inches long.
that's right.
Okay,
It's about 16 inches long and it's every bit of 5 inches wide.
so I research like nobody's business. I do nothing. I'll Google the crap out of a subject. Okay, and I did that once you sent the picture. I did that. I mean, I dug and dug and dug, and I made the topic Neanderthal. Not even Bigfoot related,
Right.
strictly Neanderthal. Did you know the largest Neanderthal print is 11.4 inches?
Really?
And you've
Yeah.
got something that's between 15 to 16 inches, but yet you've got science telling
That's
you,
right.
oh, it's Neanderthal. See
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. The I guess the saddest thing about it is once I got it figured out what it was and I had people look at it, I couldn't remember where the next step might have been or the step after that. Because I'm assuming it wasn't a one-legged Bigfoot. So, and there had to be more footprints out there. I went back to the river. I just couldn't find them.
Well, the thing is with the and I'm not saying it's Bigfoot. So I'm not going to put
Sure.
myself out there and say it's Bigfoot. What I'm going to say is, as a researcher, I'm gonna put out what doesn't make sense. And what doesn't make sense is, at no point, even when all the continents were together, which they call Pangea, all the
Right.
continents were together. Texas was nowhere near where Neanderthals were.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Neanderthals are European. They're in Europe. Well, what separates the United States from Europe was a entire continent, which is now Africa. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
whatever this was could have easily come from Africa and was in the United States during that, throughout evolution or whatever you want to call it, But like I said, I started doing this deep dive and nothing comes close to saying it's a Neanderthal when I'm looking at the picture. Nothing.
Yeah. It's very cool. I like it a lot. It,
Is
Yeah, I
there
want to see those.
any? I would love to see send us some pictures all around it. Kind of like sit it down and just take multiple pictures around it so we can look at it, and you can send that to me and Johnny, and we'd love to look at it.
okay.
Somebody had a great.
LiDAR. You can download. What type of phone do you have, Carl?
Samsung.
I'm sure
Good
they
man.
probably have one too. But you can download a LiDAR app. I know you can for on an iPhone, which is what I use, and I think it's called Polyscan. I think we've talked about this before, but you can actually use your phone and do a LiDAR scan and go around it, and it'll build a 3D picture. And
Really?
I think some of the apps you can actually put into a computer program and then actually have it 3D printed. But yeah, that would be awesome if you could do a 3D scan of that.
Well, I got a son-in-law that has a 3D printer. If I can figure
Right.
that out, I'll send it to him and have him 3D print y'all a copy of it.
Oh, that would be
Yeah, I think
freaking phenomenal.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's better.
I was
that would be
just talking about for you, but yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
that is
No, I was just
that
saying,
is
so
a
you could
gift
put-
of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll when this is over tonight, then I'll get on my phone and try to find it. And if I can find it, I'll send it. Now my daughter will be here tomorrow, but I'll get it to my son-in-law and let him make a couple 3D printing of it, and I'll send you each one.
Oh, dude,
man,
that would
be
probably
awesome.
be the best gift I've ever gotten in 20 years.
Oh yeah. Tell Mr. Athos he's gonna have to step up his gift giving abilities. Lenny on here. You hear that, Lenny?
Yeah. Oh, Lenny's there. Lenny's there. Challenge accepted, Lenny.
I mean, I like my flask and all, but it's just not a cast of a Bigfoot, Brett. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep mine handy. I have it all the time. It's right here.
Well, what's bad is I haven't gotten Lenny a gift, so I guess I need to shut up.
Well, I could make a third. I could make a third printing, and y'all could send him one.
Okay.
No, we're gonna be selfish.
Yeah.
But if they want to print, they need to create a podcast and have you as a guest.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, if you actually can't do that, I don't have any problem at all. Because I mean the app itself is probably going to cost money. I'd definitely pitch in. I think me and Richard could handle.
Yeah. If you need money to do what you want to do,
$15.
I'll send you money.
And I'll check and see and get back to you. Yeah.
Very cool. That is awesome.
Hey, that's for you, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, get out in the river, Lenny. You got, what is that? Is it a left foot?
A right foot.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a
right foot. All
because
right,
we're
Lenny,
seeing.
you got to go find the other foot.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought that was a fantastic picture there, and I'm trying to move everybody around here. I thought it was really interesting when you sent that picture, and I'm looking at it. I can, especially if you have the picture. It's hard to see on the screen, but when you have the picture and you can zoom in and stuff like that, very, very interesting footprint. BF Bud had a question he asked a little bit ago. I was just holding it in my mind. When you're looking at that that casting or whatever, that petrified footprint, do you see any dermal ridges? I would assume they're washed away, it's smoothed out due to erosion, but do you see anything else like dermal ridges, like a thumbprint, fingerprint type ridges on the print?
It does have like it has almost what looks like could be a thumbprint markings on the bottom of the foot. Yeah, like it's got little ridges in it that go in different directions. And of course, I can't see the bottom of my foot well enough, but it looks like the ridges on your thumb. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Man, that is a find of a lifetime.
It is. And like I said, I'm not going to say one way or another what it is or what it isn't. What I am going to say is what criteria does it meet and what criteria it doesn't meet. I think what you found is pretty fascinating.
Even if it's just from, just a regular human from however many, thousands of years ago or whatever, it's still awesome. It's still extremely, very, very interesting.
Well, So they claim in the fossil world like that for uh, for mud to have turned to rock like that. We're talking a 3 million-year-old footprint.
Good Lord.
Well,
And
I've seen documentaries on it, and to find anything petrified, even if it's a tree,
yeah,
the
yeah,
the elements have to be so perfect for everything to come in line for it to be petrified. Because if not, we find stuff all the time. It's
that's
just
right.
certain criteria. Like when you find when you go up to, like I've been to Chicago and I've gone to the Museum of Natural History and all that, science and history, and you get to see, as a kid, you get to see these dinosaurs. And I remember the person walking around showing and guiding us as a tour because I was just a kid, a teenager, and they were showing this huge dinosaur. On that entire dinosaur, the only bone that was actually bone was one piece about 4 inches long.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
rest of it was made up to create the
Was
skeleton. It was
handmade.
one bone.
Yeah, I know.
That's how rare it is to find anything petrified.
Yeah. Now I've got probably 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets full of different dinosaur bones that I have found, and some as
Yeah,
long as a
it's pretty
foot and
popular
a
down
half
here.
long.
Wow. We've got
So
the Peace River down here. The Peace River
yeah,
is known for a lot of dinosaur bones. I mean, very popular. I could probably go out today and swim and find bones. It's that they're everywhere. And I have a buddy of mine in Fort Myers that has a garage of nothing but plastic bins full of nothing but prehistoric bones from just the Peace River, just the Peace River.
a bunch of my bones came from the Peace River. So a friend of mine lives in Fort Myers. His name is Earl, and me and him were hunting the Peace River one
Oral.
time,
Okay.
and you don't. I can't tell you his last name because let me tell you, dinosaur bones are considered national treasures now. You tell the wrong person, they'll take them away from you. And
Yeah.
me and him dug up an entire woolly mammoth skeleton out of the Peace River. The whole thing, the tusk and everything. It took us 3 weeks,
Oh
but
yeah.
he has it in his garage. He lives there in Fort Myers.
I rem Oh yeah, I remember back in the day I found probably a good 12-inch bone that somebody said, "Yeah, that's a tusk." It was
Yep.
12 inches long, and I tossed it back in because I was just a young man.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? But I know now. Like my father found megalodon. I mean the huge shark's teeth, which Peace River is also known for,
Yep.
is shark's teeth. A lot of shark's teeth in the Peace River.
Yeah. 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 There's a phosphorus mine up there close to your area where they find a lot of megalodon teeth. Me and my friend Earl used to go snorkeling and there off the beaches in Florida and pick up megalodon teeth. I got quite a
I
few.
told I told somebody because that's one of the cryptids out there that people say, does the megalodon still exist? Is it still out there? And everybody says no, it's extinct. We have great whites now. That's the biggest shark out there. But let me tell you something. When I first went into the military, I was in the U.S. Navy, and I took things for granted right off the bat because I thought everything was normal. And like the first submarine I saw a beautiful, picturesque view of a submarine passing me, and I'm thinking, I'll see that 1,000 times. Never saw it again. Never saw a submarine again. Um, but we were out in the middle of the ocean, off the coast of Japan, an area called Romeo 116. It's called Rock and Romeo. It's a very, very crazy area in the ocean. And me and some buddies were sitting outside, having a break and stuff like that on the fantail. And we were leaning over looking at the water, and a shark came by that I swear, hand raised, I swear to God, this thing was bigger than a school bus. Okay? And it was not a whale shark or one of those ones with all the spots on the back. This looked like a normal great white shark, but this thing was bigger than a school bus, and it went right by us. And we just looked at it as it went right by because the ship was probably going, I don't know, 20 knots, and it was going the opposite direction. And we just passed it, and I was like, and now here it is in my 50s. I'm like, that had to have been a megalodon or something close related because it was not a great white. It was way too big, way too big.
Yeah, so I know this is off your Bigfoot deal, but there's a video, I think it's on YouTube, of Hitler dedicating a submarine. And even the American press is there taking pictures of Germany's new submarine. And when they take a picture of it out on the water, up towards the front of the submarine, behind it, you see the dorsal fin of a shark sticking up towards the front of the submarine. It's as tall as the periscope section of the submarine. Past the back end of the submarine is the tail fin sticking out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's caught on live TV. And you can get on there and see it now. So that was a shark in the water next to the submarine that was longer than the Nazi submarine. And that's what in the 40s. So,
Wow.
and they're still here. But yeah,
I think there's megalodon. I'm just
I do too.
I think they're out there. No, that is fantastic. Anybody in the chat room have any questions about his sightings? Now's the time. Throw them out there. Carl will answer anything that you got. Carl, I'll put the question on the screen if you can see it. And
Okay.
so if you guys have any questions about his sightings in Texas, let us know. Dude, I think it's phenomenal. I think you're in a very unique situation where you had an opportunity to see a Bigfoot for 10 minutes. I think that is amazing. Like I said, I beg for 10 seconds. And
Yeah.
everybody knows that. I always use the 10-second rule when I talk to people. I tell them I think Sasquatch is extremely selfish because he has nothing better to do. He's just chilling and he can't give me 10 seconds of his time. You got
That's
10
right.
minutes. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. I think that's fantastic. So, I think that's great. And you've got, it's one of those sightings where nobody for the rest of your life will ever convince you it doesn't exist.
That's right.
They'll never convince you. You see
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And those are the people we're excited about having on the show because those are the people you can't convince it doesn't exist. There's just no way. You know what you saw. See what I'm saying? You know the difference between a bear, and I love it when they always say, "Oh, it might have been a bear." Dude, we are grown adults. We know
That's
what
right.
a bear looks like. See what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
That's ridiculous. We have a guest coming up soon that I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to give names or anything like that, but he's got some photographs and some stuff. And this is back in the day when he really kind of blew it up in the state of Florida. And people would look at his photos and stuff and say it was a deer. Well, I'm going to put these photos on the screen when we do his show. There is no way you can mistake that for a deer. It's just impossible. See what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
impossible. So we know what animals are out there. So
Yeah. Well, now
BF Bud asked a little bit ago, did you find any other prints? You did answer that. You did go back and you did try to look for any further prints.
I did.
And you didn't find any.
I didn't find any more.
John Stewart asked, were there any smells or anything like that? Did you have any sightings? Did you have an odor? Did you have any feelings inside, or just you felt normal and you were just looking at another normal creature?
And I felt more fear than anything, but um, I'm a true believer in facing your fear type deal. So The worst thing he can do is kill me, and that's not the worst thing that could happen to you. But
True that.
but he did. He brings a whole new meaning to the idea of smelling like a wet dog. Because he was uh, he was pretty potent, and of course
Yeah, and there's
that's
a lot
probably
of
what he
theories
thought
on that.
about us.
Right. Um, somebody asked. So he said, "How many sightings have you actually had altogether?" And so you're looking at about 3. You had the one
3
where y'all were barbecuing. You had the one with your nephew, and then you had the possible one with the binoculars that
in
you
Colorado.
saw crossing the river. So,
That's right.
which is phenomenal. I mean, and you're talking about late '80s to current. That sounds common. 3 sightings. Um, I've been doing this since 2005, and I've yet to have a sighting, but I've had about 3 encounters in 20 years. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it lets people know that it is very difficult. It's very rare, and you have to be at the right place at the right time. And I think you were, luckily, at the right place at the right time.
yeah. I'm always looking, and
Yeah.
good.
And I think everybody should. I promote that. Anytime people are in the woods, always be aware. Always be paying attention.
Yeah. So it's with my cell phone now. When I'm out this next spring, anything I see might fall of interest, I'll make sure I send y'all copies.
Absolutely. You got my number. Don't
Yeah.
lose my number.
Oh well.
Okay? Just keep my number. You got my name, and always reach out to me. Always reach out to me. I tell that to all our guests. Let me know what's going on. Keep me informed on, what's happening or what's new and stuff like that, because we might have Carl back on the show and say, Carl's got some
Yeah.
breaking news. You know what I mean? And we'll have you back on immediately, I'll make room for you. So, any
Yeah.
other
Well,
questions? Any other questions? Anybody? It seems like Johnny's having some technical difficulties because it keeps showing me devices not connected. So he's probably having some issues. And Johnny does have some. He lives out in the middle of nowhere. He does live, at an area where he doesn't have great connection. So that's why I'm always, setting up the show and stuff like that. So, but um, any questions? Throw them now because we're going to let Carl go and enjoy the rest of his evening. There is a time difference because you are in Colorado. I am in Florida. So, but very interesting, Carl. Very interesting, and I like the fact that not only that you responded when I reached out to you, but your encounter was very. I liked it a lot. A 10-minute sighting. You were able to go into detail on what it looked like, and that is really cool. I think that footprint you got is not Neanderthal. That's just my opinion. My opinion only. That's all I got is an opinion. But I think that with the research I've done in the last 24 hours that you sent it to me, and I started I Google a lot. If somebody mentions an aspirin, I'm Googling that. I do a lot of research. And so I went down that rat hole, especially with Neanderthal, and it just doesn't match. It just doesn't match.
right.
So, and there's some structural issues with it that I'm not a foot guy. That was the late Dr. Meldrum, and I don't know why I keep adding him. Somebody's got something on because
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
myself. Yeah, but I think you got a speaker on or something because I can hear me.
Yeah, it's echoing.
I'm just going to say bye. I'm having technical difficulties. Carl, thank you very much for coming on.
Yes, sir. I'll
All right, brother.
and I'll get your addresses
Johnny's
and send you a
absolutely.
3D
That's
print.
awesome. Awesome. But like I was saying, like I said, you've got any way to contact me. You got my phone number. I'll pass on. Our email is easy. It's sasquatchunredacted@gmail.com.
Right.
But you can always message me and say, "Hey, Rick, I got more information and stuff like that." We'd love to have you back on the show. You've been a great guest, Carl. Is this your first podcast?
It is. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I
Oh,
liked it.
nice. We've had quite a few that this was their first one. That was
Yeah.
awesome, And like I said, it's a great time. It's just a conversation. And I invite anybody that watched this show, if you've had an encounter, if you're a researcher and you just want to talk about your research and what you found and evidence and stuff, this is a safe place. We have a good time. It's just a conversation, right, Carl? It's just a
That's right.
conversation.
Yeah.
And we will always treat you with the utmost respect. There will be no disrespect, not in the chat room, not money. Ask questions out of curiosity, not out of disrespect. And we invite anybody who wants to be on the show, please reach out to us on sasquatchunredacted@gmail.com. I am not giving out my personal number, but all guests do end up having my personal number because I like to talk to you guys on the phone. So you don't have my permission to give that out without letting me know.
No.
But it was great having you, Carl. You're a good guy. I like you, man. And
Thank you.
we'll reach out. You can touch base with me anytime. And I'm pretty wide open. If I don't answer the phone, it's only because I'm sleeping. That's
Okay.
it. Anytime I answer the phone all the time. But if I don't answer, it's only because at that moment I'm sleeping because I do work some crazy hours. So,
Well, when
thank you, Carl. God bless you, man. Huh?
I say when I get my 3D prints made, I'll send you a picture of them, and then you send me the addresses where they need to go, and I'll ship them to you.
Absolutely, dude. That is a fantastic gift. I would love it. I'll post it somewhere. I'm going to put it somewhere where it's actually played, where everybody can see it. And that's fantastic because I do have stuff. I have, and I love this. I'll show you really quick here. I'm trying to reach down. I don't know if it'll show up here, but this is. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see. This
Yeah.
This is the actual Patterson Gimlin from footprint that I was
nice.
actually got this from Dr. Jeff Meldrum. From Dr. Jeff Meldrum, I got that. So I really love it because I got it from him personally. So
Yeah.
and now, and we've lost him, great man, but I cherish this item. So, all right, Carl, I'm going to let you go. So you have a great evening. I will talk to you later, and God bless you. God bless your family. I hope you have a fantastic 2026, and we'll
Thank
just
you.
have to have you on in the future. Let us
Yep.
know. Let us know anything, and we'll have you back.
I'll keep in touch.
All right, take care, Carl. God bless you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I thought it was a fantastic show. Carl was a great guest. Good times, man. I love encounters like that. 10 minutes. Who would have guessed? 10 minutes. Again, God bless you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic 2026. It just started. Think positive. Let's do great things this year. Let's move that ball forward in the Bigfoot arena and put out some really great evidence, really great stories. Again, if you feel like you want to share your information, please reach out to us at sasquatchunredacted@gmail.com. We'd love to talk to you and have you on the show. God bless each and every one of you guys. You guys have a great show. Icebox, call me after the show. I will talk to you guys. God bless. Love you all.